Hello everyone. Today we'll have another frontier and blockage castle poem. 凉州词二首其一 by Wang Han. So the 边塞诗 or the frontier and blockage castle poems is the two pillars of the famous Tang poetry. The other is the mountain, river, and farming fields, 山水田园诗. So there's roughly 2,000 and more poems still remain till today. Is categorized as the 边塞诗, the frontier and blockage castles poetry. Okay, let's have the poem first. 凉州词二首其一王翰，葡萄美酒夜光杯，欲饮琵琶马上催。醉卧沙场君莫笑，古来征战几人回。凉州词 is the name of the rhythm. This is the rhythm of the Tang dynasty, and we have some of the rhythms from the Han dynasty, but actually the rhythm is lost, but the name still remains, like Guanshan we had before. So this one is the poem written to the 凉州词 rhythm. 二首 means the poet Wang Han write two songs, and this is one of them. Liangzhou is an administrative area in the Tang dynasty. Basically, the core area is the Gansu province today. It's just like a very long corridor from the capital of Chang'an to the vast area of Central Asia today, Xinjiang and Kazakhstan or whatever. And it also includes some parts of the Qinghai province today, Ningxia province, Shanxi province, and Inner Mongolia. Some parts of there is not just like the very slim corridor. It's a big administrative area, and it's the passage to the vast Central Asia areas. 葡萄美酒夜光杯, the one of grape in the cup made of jade. 夜光 means this cup can emit light, especially in the dark night. So this is the very typical items in the Tang dynasty, and especially in the Liangzhou and Central Asia areas. 欲饮琵琶马上催。欲饮, so I just want to drink this cup of wines, but the music is on. So here is two music. 琵琶 is music. 琵琶 is the musical instrument from the Central Asia to China, to the Tang dynasty. So it's quite popular in the Tang dynasty as well. And so the pipa actually here is one of the rhythms. So this normally is for entertainment, for parties, for drinkings. So they are drinking the wines the moment. So they have the rhythm of the music by the pipa or the pipa songs. 马上 It's for in modern Chinese, it looks something very soon, something very soon to be done or to be happen, 马上 at once. But here, 马上 refers to the rhythm, a kind of rhythm or type of music, which means this kind of music is only on the horseback. So it's for the battles. And also it has another name, it's 横吹. Heng is in the horizon and trees below. So because the musical instrument for 马上曲 or the 横吹曲 is flute, the Chinese flute. So the music changed from the 琵琶 party music to the battle music, 横吹 and 马上曲. So it means the battle is coming. Please get up on the horseback and be prepared. 醉卧沙场君莫笑. It's just like a dialogue. Hey buddy, if I was drunk and sleep on the battlefield, 沙场 means the battlefield. Never laugh at me. We're buddies. And that's the life of a soldier. So it's just like a dialogue between buddies. Actually, the poet himself has been on site. He has been to the Liangzhou and the frontier areas on a mission, and he was just like the supply chain officers to send foods, supplies to the frontiers. So he stayed there with all these soldiers and generals. This dialogue maybe really happened at the time being. What do you think? 古来征战几人回. So the dialogue continues. The general, the soldier told the poet. Okay, that's all my imaginations. So since the history, how many soldiers and generals come back from the battlefields? So what's the difference? I drunk, lay down on the battlefield, or be killed by someone else. What's the difference? Everybody dies. So it's like a joking between the soldiers and the generals when they just have a big party drinking, and then the 马上曲, the songs for the battles blows, and they had to stop their drinking and get on the horseback and went to the battlefield. Before they go, they told to the supply chain officer Wang Han, "Hey buddy, I'm drunk. Don't laugh at me." So who else or how many people, how many soldiers come back from the battlefields? So what's the difference? Let it be. Wang Han belongs to the Tang area, so he passed the imperial exam in his early age, but he didn't went to any position for more than 10 years. He was in a very big and wealthy and powerful family, Wang family of Taiyuan. So that's one of the big families. It was told until the Tang dynasty, there's still roughly 7 or 8 big families, and Wang family is one of them. So he is well off, and he passed the exam. So this proved his talent, his capabilities. He just drink, write poems, play games, hunting with his friends in his hometown. And later on, the officer in Taiyuan, his hometown, went to the capital to be the new prime minister, and he brings Wang Han to the capital city, Chang'an again. And he gave Wang Han a position. So Wang Han has the chance to go to the frontier areas, Liangzhou, as a supply chain officer. That's for the prime minister's sake. But per his characteristic, is not welcome in the bureaucratic government. And he doesn't care as well because he has a big family. His family support him very well, and he worries nothing. Drink, write poems, and play games with friends. So very quickly he was abandoned to a remote place in Changjiang area, and then quite very quickly he was abandoned to a more remote place, and it was told he died on the midway. So from he entered the capital Chang'an city till his death, roughly 5 years, not much longer time. So the fate, the fortunes changed. Nobody can imagine. If he stayed in his hometown, maybe he can live 20 more years, 30 more years. Nobody knows. But we won't see this poem if he stays in his hometown. And this poem was valued as most two famous or most four famous 连载诗 in the Tang Dynasty. And someone said it's very sad songs, but I don't think so. It's just show the courage and show the broad view of the soldiers and the generals. And it's very, how to put it, it's very like a child, like a youth. It's always with energy, afraid of nothing. And later on in the mid-Tang or late Tangs, there's still some 边塞诗, the frontier and Black Castle poems. But that is totally different. It's sad. I think this poem is just like teenagers or maybe around 20s people. He just have the chance to achieve something, and he has no fear, and he's with all the courage to do it, and with the wines as well. So here you can also see the wine of grape. It's not a new fashion for China, for Chinese. It's appeared at least in the Tang Dynasty, and normally it was told in the Zhou Dynasty, even roughly 1,500 years before Tang Dynasty. So the grape wine drinking has a long history in China actually, but after Tang Dynasty broke for quite a long time, more than 1,000 years, and later on in the recent years, the Portuguese and the French, the British, they bring the grape wine back to China again. So the grape wines we're drinking these days are from the Europe now. So this is a very short poem, but it gives a lot of things. The first two sentences describe the atmosphere or things on the battlefields, drinkings, and music. And the third and fourth sentence is a dialogue. So it's bring everything to the human space. And also it's just like buddies talk. So it's give you a very close, very just at your eyesight, you're seeing the two buddies chatting each other and joking each other. It's very vividly reflect the situation and the spirit of the Tang's people, especially in the most prosperous time, the Sheng Tang's time. Their spirit, brave, courage, fearless. They can do everything for the country, not just drinking wine. They can die for the country with great pride and don't ask for anything. This poem also reflects several very locally items. 葡萄酒 is not so locally, but Liangzhou and more westly, Xinjiang today, Central Asia, has the best grapes and the best grape wines. And 夜光杯 is made locally in this area. Initially, the jade the material is from the Kunlun mountain, very far from. And later on, they used the jade from the Qilian mountain. It's quite near to the Liangzhou, and it's in the Liangzhou actually. So 夜光杯 is another local stuff, and now you can buy it at the tourist spot. 琵琶 and 马上 is two names of the songs, and 琵琶 is also from the Central Asia, and 马上 normally is using the Chinese flute. It's also a musical instrument locally in the basically in the Qinghai province today, and it belongs to the Liangzhou administrative area in Tang dynasty. Wang Han is a genius person. He has a great fame in the time being of the Tang dynasty. That's not very easily because only few poets or writers has the fame when he was alive in the Tang dynasty. Even Du Fu is not so famous in Tang dynasty. And he has a lot articles, poems, but few of them left behind. And even we are not quite sure about when he died. Okay, let's have his poem again. For every word, for every sentences. 凉州词其二。葡萄美酒夜光杯，欲饮琵琶马上催。醉卧沙场君莫笑，古来征战几人回。王翰 a symbol, an image for the great Tang time, Sheng Tang's time, for its courage, for its broad wills, which can never be paired or compete to any other time or dynasty in the Chinese history. Okay? I hope you enjoy it and thank you. That's for today.